Hi, my buddy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Remember a little while ago I said I wouldn't be coming at you again. I'm coming at you again, just very briefly. Within 2 minutes, I'm going to get this done. I just wanted to tell you something. The reason why some of this stuff, like the Lost Cause, if you look up Lost Cause of the Civil War, it explains how there was a concerted effort right afterward to glorify the whole Confederate movement, so to speak. Yeah. And the way they did this, of course, was through media, through movies like Gone with the Wind is an example of this Lost Cause. I'm trying to get some lighting on me. Lost Cause scenario. A lot of different things were, like, oh, they were just fine courting gentlemen coming around on their steeds to, whatever, talking about the generals and stuff of the war. So, look into that. But the reason why this has permeated a lot of our society is, this is something I talked about a long time ago, and I was actually interviewed by a gal named Rez Please, R-E-Z, new word, please, a long time ago, and I explained why this has happened. And actually, I thank Tom Hartman for explaining it to me. Is that I noticed our library was kind of censored. It didn't have a lot of material other than like American exceptionalism, and didn't have really any books by, say, Noam Chomsky, Michael Parenti, even Tom Hartman. People, like that. Professor Richard Wolff, Professor Gerald Horne, Horne is another one to look up in terms of Civil War history and whatnot. He's an African-American professor at U of H, I think, University of Houston, if I'm not mistaken. At any rate, the reason why is because you get somebody who writes a book, let's just say, okay, have you ever heard of those Political Incorrect Guides to series, like the Politically Incorrect Guide to the Constitution, the Politically Incorrect Guide to the Civil War, all these different things. It's put out by a publishing house that leans more like sort of libertarian. And what happens is, because the libertarians have the backing of, well, not necessarily just the libertarians, but a certain segment of society has the backing of the Koch brothers and other billionaires. I hear a lot about George Soros, but let's also talk about the other side's funding. And they'll go in, billionaire groups will go in, like the Koch brothers are attached to the Heritage Foundation and the Cato Institute, and they will go in under that group name or whatever, backed by billionaires, and buy up bulk copies of a new book. All right, thanks, Joel. The president's talking. At any rate, they'll buy the books in bulk, which immediately shoots it up to the #1 bestseller in the New York Times list. And then they take those bulk books and they distribute them at libraries across the land. And, bookstores and all that stuff too. So this is why we have kind of this talking point often about more of the right-wing kind of talking point. The right wing will come back and say that the universities are all liberal and all this stuff. But if you really look into it, the universities, they teach capitalism and they teach American exceptionalism. I don't see anything really super real liberal about some of the universities, but at any rate, that's beside the point. So that's how it happens. It shoots it up to the bestseller. They're out there in bulk. You might go to the library and check out an Ann Coulter book, and there's 2 more on the shelf waiting for other people. And this is how it sort of permeates our society. Another example is the movies. Michael Moore's movie, Where to Invade Next, never came to our local theater, as they say in Texas, which is in Meadville, near Meadville. However, the movie against Hillary was there. Now, as you know, I don't defend Hillary. I'm saying that's fine. Put the Hillary movie there, but let's go ahead and do some Michael Moore, too. Very, very censored stuff. Big business is generally Republican. I hate to break it to you. And also, really, a lot of the small businesses are as well. That's why I push for worker co-ops. Where it's the means of the production and the distribution are in the hands of the workers. They own everything equally. How very socialistic and democratic of me, I know, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, that's it. I just had to come back and talk about the Lost Cause briefly, what that's all about, how there's this glorification of the losers of the Civil War, if you really think about it. So it doesn't even make sense to me at all, but, we'll have that. I went 5 minutes now. I was going to go 2, but it didn't work. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day.